there you are. Yeah, sorry about that. Now, this morning I went to work. I'm not proud of it because today is Waitangi Day, and I should really be kicking back and actually getting stuck in, because let's face it, it's been about 5 days since I posted on the 1st of February, my second podcast about my plans and what I was intending. So what you've just been listening to is actually it's something that's been sitting up here. It sounds a bit hard-boiled for quite some time. So I was just fumbling with the what's the word I'm looking for? The idea of the chorus and bridge for it. But as you can tell, my fingers are they're a bit soft and doughy, and it's also very sweaty. I mean, it's another sticking hot day out there. But actually, I had an excuse to go to work. I had some paperwork to fill out, and while I was there, I picked up the phone, because I'm a bit. And turns out somebody wanted to pick up a washing machine. So they gave me an excuse to sit upstairs and play with the instruments up there, like the electric guitar. What's it like to have an electric guitar in your hands? Okay, so it's like that. Right, fine. Fine. It's like having an acoustic guitar, like this one here, except that it's got electric bits in it. And then the amp started picking up a mains hum, which really annoyed me, so I, didn't bother with it. Anyway, you probably notice it's a very sad sounding mangling of a D chord. But I was poking away. So I'm going to say this right now. So I'm just going to bring up the presentation here. Oops. Well, first off, hide that and hide this. So here's the status. I've got 9 out of 10 ideas for the tracks. Now remember, I started saying I want at least 10, so I just need 1 more. 1 is virtually done already, 3 are half done, and 5 need to be started, basically. So the ideas, well, I've got titles for them. So we've got Lung Oyster Season, Old Fart, Playtime, Lubberland, Frog Salad, Douglas the Beat Speaks. No, that's all right. His voice is a bit more languid, laid back man. This is Douglas, the man with the plan. He feels the beat of the street, and he knows things that you need to know. Followed after that by the one I was just plinking with to open up this podcast, I Wish You Well. And then one I came up with on Sunday, actually. I was having a bit of a walk, and then remembered that one time where I saw feral chickens in the trees not far away. And today I remembered a song. It turns out I remembered it being played a lot better than it actually was. But then again, it's a cover of a little girl who's come up with a song when she should have been going to bed. Let's be blunt about that. So what are these ideas? Okay, so Lung Oyster Season is one that I've already uploaded it months ago to newgrounds.com, and also spammed it on some discords. So what would I want to do with this one? This ballad, this sad ballad about some truly horrible respiratory sickness I had in July, I think it was. I hope it was July, because I don't want to think that I was still coughing my lungs up during my birthday. Thank you very much. But yeah, one of the things I want to do is redo the overdubbing. Because the overdubbing, if I remember correctly, there is... What was there? The overdubbing... Oh yeah, there's the main track in which I am very, very sad and describing how awful it is. And then just copied that recording in 2 other tracks, pitch shifted one up and pitched the other one down, which is pretty. I could do it again. Maybe have the higher one. I'm going, oh God, it's Long Oyster Season, and have in the background me weighing, not again, it's Long Oyster Season. Singing voice. Might have to go down to the Sally's and get one. You get the idea anyway. So it's all very bleh. Possibly the overdub vocals could have some effects added to them, like say some really heavy phasering or flanging to make it sound or something, I don't know. But I might leave that until the end. And then one of the people that follow, that I share a Discord with, said I'm getting heavy vibes of Edward Caspel on this one. And at first I was thinking, who the hell is that? Do I really want that? Do I really want to know? And who's Edward Caspel? Why do they care? But then again, being compared to an existing artist, and I had some trouble finding him until I realised that the apostrophe that the guy had typed was actually supposed to be a hyphen. Edward Caspel, who seems to do fairly minimalistic stuff like that. I mean, his sound is different from what I'm going for. He's more electronic. I'm more acoustic sounding. Mellotronic. You get the idea. And, well, it's hot in here. He's a bit of a gloomy gust too. It's sort of like Morrissey, but not so. But he sounds a bit like Morrissey in terms of tone and doerness. But he's also got a voice on him that seems to have the same sort of Kiwi accent. I'm not sure where he comes from. I haven't actually looked him up. I just listened to a couple of his tracks, and oh yeah, I can see where they get the comparison from. Yeah, it's fine. So that's rather interesting. Okay, going back here. Then the next one, Old Fart, that's currently up on Newgrounds as well. Played on the ukulele, so that's basically what it is. It's the ukulele, but notice that when I was listening to it, it almost sounded like there was a bit of echo or reverb. I don't know why, but I was recording it using I was recording it on my laptop, which is just up there, and one of the microphones I was using was, if I can bring this down here, this ugly thing. Spent quite a bit of money on it too. It was originally for doing audiobooks, and I never got around to recording the damn thing. So if I did, I thought, I've got better things to do. I'll have to change my tune about that. I'm going to change my tune about that because some people want to hear me finish off reading Noel Langley's The Tale of the Land of Green Ginger. I think that's still got it in his car, actually. I'm going to have to pull it out. But, you know, it was received quite well at a live series of live readings at Marrakesh, Mondragon, and Second Life. Actually, it's been quite a few Lindens on getting a book prop and book reading, storytelling gestures and stuff like that. But that was some time ago. I just sort of fell through. And that's actually a problem. If I don't feel the impetus to do something, I just don't do it. I mean, I'm going to be frank, I spent far too much time over the last 4 or 5 days playing Satisfactory, and I think one of the reasons is, first off, Satisfactory is going into 1.0 this year, probably late this year, probably in time for Christmas. Or after the New Year break. It depends how many delays Coffee Stain Studio encounter, you know. What's the other thing? Oh yes, and also I'm in the final stretch. I've just got Phase 4 to complete, and that is the final quest of that game. I mean, that's the thing. It's a very easy game to play. Rather, it's very easy to make progress. Building, you don't have to worry about structural integrity. Wait. Stop. Let's go back. We're talking about music here. So, sounds like both mics are on, so I'll try and record the ukulele again. I'm not sure. Maybe I'll do it using a tape recorder or something, rather than the mics. Or maybe it's just a bit of reverb. I'm going to have to try some experiments with it to see what sounds best. I might have to move the laptop into the spare bedroom and try it there. Maybe, just maybe, might be better. Also, the but I'm thinking of putting in a bass, a bit like that of Wendy House's early to mid 90s pitching song off their album 2032 AD. I think it was 2032 AD. But anyway, yeah, as they say, every car's a potential ride, every car is suicide. And finally, there is a very slight issue with it. The copy that's up on Newgrounds has some fairly amateurish kazoo. And I want to do it again. Probably put in an entire verse that is nothing but stuff like that. You know, fun sound. I'll just see if I can figure out anywhere else I can use any other tracks I can use the kazoo on. Ugh. I think I've split my lips somewhere, and that just made it feel all buzzy and weird. Ugh. Not very nice. Anyway, back to the presentation. Back to Death by LibreOffice Impress. The next one along is Playtime. Now, you see the whiteboard behind me. You see there's some papers taped to it. One of those is the lyric sheet to Playtime, and also remember correctly the chord tab. So I'm going to use the guitar as a bass. If I'm not quite sure, I might pull a Delia Derbyshire and just play the chords separately and then chop them up to suit. Maybe it's about time I did something like that. So it's on the whiteboard, recorded as a message to myself. Possibly putting in some background with Mellotron or Casio samples, I'm not quite sure. Mellotron or Casio, bulb or parrot, bulb or parrot, bulb or parrot, bulb or parrot! Well, we don't need ukulele. Playtime is actually, well, once you read the lyrics, you get to understand that it sort of starts out sunny and happy, and then the other side comes in. You could say it's sort of a remarks on my childhood school days. Right. Next one, Loverland, the pretty much straight blues tune that I have sort of got recorded, but it sounds terrible. My blues singing sucks. I've got to try that again. So re-record that. I'm wondering if I could put in the omnichord both as a backing track and maybe as an instrumental break where I'm doing terrible things on the strum plate, I don't know. And possibly even change the way I play guitar. Instead of the sort of janga that I usually do, try and be more plucky. So I've got a bit of work to do on that one. And then Douglas, the beat speaks. And Douglas is going to do it. Pretty much similar to the guy who called himself Martin Sheen on one of the, I think, was it Bob's Total Deafness or something? You can find it at subgenius.com. Subgenius. No O in the only O is in the com, by the way. And it's a bit like the track Bob Pokes Me in the Eye with Love. But it's not going to be exactly, it's going to have the same, probably in the same key because I'm using a work in an unfinished work. I call it a work in progress, but it's progress. But it's instrumental and it uses a lot of Afrobeat sounds, and I'm hearing that when I'm thinking about it. And it's basically Douglas just spouts these one-liners or things that sound profound, like "Don't live by Jesus, take the wheel." Douglas knows something about Jesus that you do not know. Jesus doesn't know how to drive. Douglas knows how to drive, but Jesus, 2,000 years old, and he's been up in heaven all this time. What would he know about that wheel and them pedals? No. Douglas would rather make Jesus his GPS. Or something like that anyway. I'm not quite sure how to do it. Douglas is a bit of an iconoclast. He's also one of the weirdos in my head, I'm going to be honest about that. So, enough of him. So, back to the presentation. What's the next one along? I wish you well. Now, that was what I was playing before. So, I've just discovered that the funny sounding D in the middle is a D sus2. And actually, it's pretty simple to play. Let's go over here. This is all recorded live, by the way. So, here we are. I'm going to try and rest this up here so that my chin is resting on here. So here we are. So I've got my D here. Now I want to watch my middle finger. When I flip you the bird, that means I'm lifting it off the top string, and that takes it from D to. And just it's got a bit of a more melancholic sound. So it sounds. Yeah, I've got to work on that switch over from D to G. And then I've got to figure out. Bonk. As you do. Then I've got to figure out. Get out of here. So from there, I've got to figure out what's the chorus chord progression, what's the bridge progression, because the guitar is going to be the most important one, and it is a song of farewell. I remember coming up with some lines to start it. Something along the lines of, "They'll call you soon, but we're here for now. Now, in this airport." Oh, I can't remember what I sang, but you get the idea. The idea is I'm sort of singing rather sadly, but hopefully, gratefully, she's going away. She's leaving on a jet plane. I don't think she will be back again. And why should she? I'm not exactly the most pleasant person to be around. But yeah, so I've got an idea. So this one has got a very strong idea. I just need to work on it. And actually, I was plinking at it today. And then this one, feral chickens in the trees. Now, I'm not sure. I think I might use both the guitar and the ukulele, but it's a ballad based on something that happened late one afternoon after work. I instead of going turning left and getting ready to go home, what happened was I decided, and this is what I decided. I'll go instead of going left, going left to get onto Gavity Road and go home. I thought what I'll do is I will go right, and I'll go. So yeah, I'll go right and then around the block, but stop at the dairy for a pie or something. Turns out all the pies were sold out, so I just had some chips and lollies actually. That was fine by me. As I was sitting in the car park at Nikau Reserve, and I noticed that one of the trees was bouncing a bit more heavily than the breeze would 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 be able to cause. So I kept watching, and turns out there were chickens in the trees, and the chickens bouncing around in the trees, climbing out onto branches that couldn't possibly support their weight. Silly buggers. I guess they were escapees from the model farm that used to be up, up in that direction actually. Lindell, I think it was called, but it's closed down since because nobody wants to go to a model farm that's miles away from everything else. And that was a problem actually. It was just too far away from everything and too hard to get to. And besides, when you got up there, wasn't much to do except stare at the same sort of farm animals you saw anywhere else, and get harassed by the sheep and goats wanting your pellets. But I don't understand that there's a number of small businesses up there now, as well as a Hungarian restaurant, which I've never actually tried. I really should some one day. But hey, you never know, and I never do. I'm not even sure what the Hungarian cuisine is like. It's making me curious. It's also making me hungry. Anyway, the last one, let's get away from my adorable face, is What's Inside Your Butthole, which will be an actual cover. It might, so then people might frown on it on RPM. Um, but it is based on the 2020 original by Jolie Raphael, who is Ms. Raphael's little daughter, and is probably wishing now, 4 years later, that she had never been recorded and that she had actually gone to bed. You can find the original on X, which used to be called Twitter until Elon Musk did something stupid. You know, Elon Musk and his frickin' ego. Now, I'm not quite sure how to do it, but, I mean, how she's saying it was very similar to what I remembered, of course, but I remembered it a bit more, what's the word I'm looking for? I'm not entirely sure. But, yeah, maybe I'll do it as all keyboards, just keyboards, crappy Casio keyboards, and maybe a bit of Mellotron, I don't know. I've got that Casio keyboard on here, so I can just probably do something like that, and maybe even use the omnichord as well. And overdub sort of call and response, so we've got two different bits set up on separate tracks with different panning and all that, so something like, I want to know what's inside your butthole, I want to know what's inside your butthole. Maybe there are aliens, maybe there are astronauts having Star Wars inside your butthole. And if they were doing, and when you think about it, if aliens and astronauts were having space battles inside your butthole, would that make it a dead starfish? Anyway, whoops, cancel. I'm thinking it might get tuned up the ukulele and try that, if I can figure out what the chord situation is. But yeah, ukulele and some keyboards and all that, you know, something silly, like James Kachalka Superstar's Frog on a, what was it? Frog on a Skyscraper, on his album Don't Trust Whitey. Although also have Hot Chocolate Superstar, which is a bit more lo-fi. Now there is also a ninth thing, I don't remember putting a slide up for it, called Frog Salad. And all I've got is if I get the get me going, E chord going. So that's the chord. So it's something like, I tried to eat healthy the other day, but my fruit looked up and croaked at me and jumped away. Frog salad. Who's a frog in my salad? Then we have another verse around here. What are the lyrics? I don't know. I fear frog salad. Oh, do I? What are the words to frog salad? I really don't know. I don't know what the words to frog salad are any more than I know what's inside your butthole. And you want to know something? I don't care. So anyway, yeah, so I've got some ideas. Just maybe I need a 10th, or maybe I'll just say, yeah, 9 is close enough. 9 is 3 times the number of tracks. Well, more actually. Over 3 times the number of tracks I created for RPM 2023, because the weird little thing I created called the fugue state of Mr. Unpronounceable. I don't even know why I did that. I think I was panicking. So really, all I did then was a single and a B-side. Single and a B-side, 4 bits. Because as usual, you can hear Lung oyster season and old fart on newgrounds.com. That URL is going to change as I finish tracks. In fact, I'm going to create a whole new SoundCloud account specifically for this project, and possibly even for the musical persona Rob C. But for now, you can still hear mixes at crankyrabbit.nz, which will do two things. You can either hear them directly on the site, or you can go to Mixcloud and hear them. I've got to update my website urgently, actually. It's the list is well out of date. And of course, if you want to buy some music, if you want to buy some zines, if you want to buy merch, if you want to buy, so what was I saying? Oh yes, if you want to buy zines, ordinary zines that I make myself, or you want to buy zines with these zines that have CDs in them. I'll show you. This is the Invisible Nudist one. I folded it myself, and I burned it myself. Burned it right here, in fact, in this very room, on this very computer that I am recording and annoying you with my merch pushing. And by the way, the international shipping is calculated assuming that everybody's in the UK. Sorry about that, but I was in a bit of a hurry. So you can go to desperatefun.bandcamp.com. And as always, thank you to Matias Machado Luna for this presentation template, and of course the whole LibreOffice team at libreoffice.org.